Abby stood motionless, taking in the stranger who seemed to glide toward her, swan-like and silent. Mousel had taken off with his tail between his legs, but Abby was transfixed. All at once her shaking limbs and thumping heart were calmed, muted, as if fear could simply not compete with the loveliness of this woman. Abby had seen beautiful women, but there was something unworldly about this face and those eyes. The woman stopped a few feet from where Abby stood and bestowed upon her a beatific smile. There was no need for words, not yet. She seemed so familiar, Abby thought. Where had she seen that face? It was hard to think in her presence. It wasn't just the beauty of her, it was the feeling of complete serenity and acceptance, a kind of knowing. The woman's eyes were large and liquid like two oceans, and Abby wanted to dive into those eyes and drink her in all at the same time. "Are you the person that was on the beach?" Abby's voice sounded alien and out of place. The stranger said nothing and continued to smile. It was then that Abby noticed a change in the apparition, for she indeed seemed to be an apparition. For a moment she didn't look solid. She seemed to flicker and shift, and when Abby looked down, she saw that the soft and naked feet were barely touching the grass. Now Abby came back to the physical world. Until this moment, she hadn't noticed the beads of sweat on the back of her neck or the cool breeze licking them away. She cleared her throat. "Are you a ghost?" The woman still said nothing, but Abby noticed an almost imperceptible shake of her head. The eyes became softer still, and then the pearled lips moved. "Abby, don't you recognize me?" When Abby came to, her eyes were closed. Reluctant to open them, she lay where she was, feeling cool cotton sheets against her skin. Somewhere nearby, a steady beeping and muffled voices. Beside her, someone inhaled sharply. "Abby!" There was sudden movement, and her mother's warm, steady hand was on her face. "Open your eyes, darling, I'm here." All at once the room was full of nurses, taking obs and asking questions. Abby opened her eyes to see her mother's concerned face, pink in the glow of a setting sun. "Mum, what happened? I was coming home. I met a woman. She was amazing." "Shh, Abby, don't talk now. We think you were attacked. The police are investigating and the doctor will be in to see you soon." "The police?" Abby tried to sit up. "But you don't understand. The woman was wonderful. She wouldn't hurt me, I'm sure of it." Her mother coaxed her back onto her pillow. "It's going to be all right. We can talk tomorrow." "Oh, Dr. Fosco! Abby's just woken up." The doctor had just entered the room, handsome, smiling with blue eyes and a square jaw. Every nurse watched him under her lashes, shooting him surreptitious smiles. But for Abby, time had frozen, and with a growing sense of horror, she was doused in the same feeling of intense dread she had experienced only hours before. Paralyzed in fear, she struggled to speak. This was evil. He was evil, the one on the beach, the bringer of doom. She watched helplessly as he chatted with her mother, charming her, duping her, a wolf in sheep's clothing. Her mother was speaking to her again. "Well, I'll go now and be back in the morning, darling. Try to get some sleep." "No, Mum, please. I want to come home with you." "It's just one night. It will be morning before you know it." Her mother kissed her and left the room with the doctor in tow. And as he reached the door, he stopped and stood motionless for a moment. Then turning his head, he looked over his shoulder